But next up is our Holocaust Remembrance Proclamation. So I'd like to ask all kind of folks to come up here and join me. Rabbi Mimran, if you would lead your team here, but I want to note particularly two Holocaust survivors, both Joe Engel and Deanie Atkins, who are coming up to the counter right now. Joe, good to see you. God bless you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Come on over a little bit more so everybody can see you. And that was a beautiful prayer and remembrance. Thank you, Council Member Shade and Appel. And I have the proclamation, but first I would like to ask Rabbi Mimran to read a prayer for the 6 million. Rabbi?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Council members, for this proclamation and for showing Holocaust remembrance the importance that it deserves. I would like to very briefly mention our gratitude to the Mayor for agreeing to attend a Holocaust remembrance ceremony on Sunday at our synagogue as part of the Holocaust cattle car, together with Senator Scott and other dignitaries. All council members are invited along with the public. Now for the prayer, I'll say it first in Hebrew and then in English. Eil mali rachamim sheichim b'amroimim hamtei menucha nechoina al kanfei hashchina b'malis kadoshim v'toyim kazoya ha'akiyam asirim es nishmois 6 million akadoshim anoshim noshim v'taf kehilis hakodesh amasru nafsham al kedushas Hashem v'chein ba'al rachamim yastiram b'seisa knofav leilomim v'yitra b'tzroy achaim es nishmoiseihem adenoyu nachalasam v'yinochu b'shalom ha'mishkveiseihem v'neimar amen. God, full of mercy, who dwells in the heights, shelter them beneath the wings of your presence, high among the holy and the pure, who shine like the brilliant heavens. Shelter the souls of the innocent 6 million men, women, and children, holy communities who were slaughtered in the Holocaust, strangled, suffocated, and burnt to ash. Amongst them, young children who never tasted sin in their life and their death were never separated. Their holy souls passed into your care. Let the Garden of Eden be their resting place. Master of mercy, drape them and keep them forever in your protecting presence and bind their souls to the living and to the life. God, you are their inheritance, and where they rest, ease them with peace. And let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi, and members of the Jewish Federation who are here with us this evening. And here is our proclamation regarding the Holocaust remembrance. Whereas the Holocaust was a state-sponsored, systematic persecution and annihilation of European Jewry by Nazi Germany and its collaborators between 1933 and 1945. And whereas we remember with sadness the 11 million, including 6 million Jews who were victims of Hitler's, quote, final solution, along with those who were persecuted for their religious and political beliefs, sexual orientation, and physical disabilities. And whereas we remember with admiration the resistors and rescuers, known and unknown, who risked and lost their lives to save others, and whereas we remember with respect the survivors who escaped, 2 of which are proudly with us tonight, were sheltered or who were freed and who lived to contribute so much to our community and to our world. And whereas the history of the Holocaust offers an opportunity to reflect on the moral responsibilities of individual societies and governments, whereas we have an obligation to ensure that the memory and legacy of lives lost or forever changed in this horrific event are never forgotten. And we remember and honor the liberators of the World War II concentration camp 77 years ago. Whereas I encourage all citizens to remember the victims of the Holocaust and to firmly commit themselves to promote human dignity by confronting intolerance and hate whenever and wherever it occurs. I invite all citizens of our community to join in the Yom HaShoah Holocaust Remembrance Program, which will be held at the Holocaust Memorial in Marion Square on Sunday, May 1st. Now, therefore, I, John J. Tecklenburg, Mayor of the City of Charleston, on behalf of this city council, do hereby proclaim the week April 4th to April 11th to be Week of Remembrance and Memory of the Victims, Survivors, Rescuers, and Liberators of the Holocaust. And with that, Rabbi, or if anyone from the Jewish Federation would like to make brief remarks, and I would also like to further recognize Charleston's esteemed Joe Engel and Deanie Atkins, if they would like to make brief remarks as well. Anybody want?
Hello, I am Deanie Atkins. I'm 84 years old. And 2 years ago, I was attacked because I was a dirty Jew. And naturally, our police was very helpful, but I ended up in the hospital. I go to schools and I go to organizations, and whoever wants me can always, give me a call with the I can pronounce the virus. The virus. I have my children. When I'm not here anymore, my daughter Phyllis Mayer is going to take over for me, and we have to remember. We cannot forget, especially anybody. You should be loved. Right now, we have so much turmoil in the world that every night I pray that everything will be okay.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Deanie. There's even a movie out about this guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, whatever you watch the television now, what happened in Ukraine, I went through everything when I was a little boy. When the German bombed our city, we walked for 24 hours to Warsaw. In Warsaw, everything was destroyed. We couldn't find a place to live. But after a while, we find a place in the bunkers. So I hope things like this never happen to anybody. We must keep our eyes open to prevent for us and for the future generation. Things like this should never happen to anybody. And I went through. I was in the ghetto. I was in Auschwitz. I escaped. I was in the resistance. And thank God, now I'm here.
Thank God.
Thank God I'm here. So I want to thank you. I've been coming here for what? I don't know for how long. I hope to be here another 10 years.
Amen.
And thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Joe.
you.
Hello, my name is Scott Rittenbaum, and I'm a volunteer for the Charleston Jewish Federation's Remember program. which consists of Holocaust survivors, their descendants, educators, and concerned citizens, such as everybody here. Now look away from my script because after listening to Deanie and Joe, what's written down here feels mighty inadequate. So I'd like to say from my heart that I stand here with a lot of humility beside them and with a lot of gratefulness for being part of this community where our community is welcome. And that I hope, as the mayor said earlier, that you will join us on May 2nd for Yom HaShoah, a day of remembrance where we'll be together as a whole community for everyone, those who were Jewish and others who perished during the Holocaust. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, one more thing to draw to your attention. Councilman Appel handed out some flyers for us, but this Sunday at Congregation Dor Tikva, there's a traveling exhibit that is housed in a cattle car, like the ones used in the Holocaust. And we're having an opening ceremony for that exhibit on Sunday, March 27th at 12 at Congregation Dor Tikva. You all have the information in front of you, and we hope to see some of you there. I know the mayor has confirmed that he's attending, and Senator Scott as well. So we look forward to seeing some of your faces too. Thank you.
And bring your children 12 and up, because it's so important that we share this history, because obviously you see, we constantly say never again, and look where we are right now. We are in the thick of it right now. And this brings so much terror to these people that have already lived through something like that. So by going to this event that's coming up on Sunday, it's an immersive event. So it's a replica of a cattle car, but when you get in there, it tells a story, and it's the history that we need to tell. So I actually beg of you to, if you don't come to this event on Sunday, I beg that you come to our event for Yom HaShoah, because these folks are not going to be here much longer, and just to hear their stories and hear the things that our committee puts together so that we can educate and continue this plight. It's not over, and it's just starting. We need to all learn and love each other, and like my mom always taught me. So thanks.
Amen.
Amen.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, just
Yes,
by
sir.
way of a little bit of good news, the other day I was having a late breakfast, early lunch at the variety store,
Yeah.
and behind me there was a huge commotion, as if a rock star had walked in the door. Well, it happens that a rock star did. It was Mr. Engel. He came wandering in. So the good news is for everybody, we just extended the lease on the variety store for another 25 years. So you got a good place to go to breakfast after you come visit with us. So.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Rabbi. So y'all, not to belabor the point, but when we had our service a week or so ago supporting Ukraine and showing solidarity, I did a little quick research, and I'm sure there were some Jewish communities in Europe that were completely wiped out during World War II. But in Ukraine, at the beginning of World War II, there were nearly 3 million Jews in Ukraine. At the end of the war, there were less than 100,000 left. They had been annihilated. Literally, the entire Jewish population of Ukraine had been murdered. And it's so poignant, as noted, with what's going on today, that Vladimir Putin has unleashed on that country and the world. It's genocide, it's murder. he is a war criminal. And I just applaud again and again all of our citizens who are coming together to assist the citizens of Ukraine in every way. Councilmember Appel attended just a gathering in Avondale, West Ashley last Friday. And citizens are getting medical supplies. The Joint Air Base Charleston, I believe, is going to help us fly some over there, but private citizens have been chartering planes. I talked to citizens who are booking flights on commercial airlines just to take as big of bags as they can with supplies to get to Ukraine and then come right back. It's just amazing the outreach that's occurring all over the world, but right here in Charleston as well. So we won't forget, we can't forget, and it's sinful and shameful that yet another evil event is happening as we speak and watch every night on the news. So I couldn't go without saying that.